This is for a white group. We're starting on lesson 76. I'm going to make up statements. Some of these statements are true and some are false. You tell me about each statement. Chickens give milk, true or false? You cannot eat clothing, true or false? Shoes can be made of leather, true or false? Monkeys do not have wings, true or false? You can keep a car in a garage, true or false? Your turn, make up a statement about shoes that is true. Your turn, make up a statement about shoes that is false. Who, what, when, where, and why. Listen to this story. The pilot was flying an airplane. She saw a big storm coming, so she landed the airplane at an airport. After the pilot landed, the passengers got out of the plane. I'm going to tell this story one more time. Listen carefully. The pilot was flying an airplane. She saw a big storm coming, so she landed the airplane at an airport. After the pilot landed, the passengers got out of the airplane. Tell what the pilot was flying. Tell where the pilot landed the airplane. Tell who got out of the airplane. Tell why the pilot landed. Tell when the passengers got out of the airplane. So we're going to talk about today, tomorrow, and 1 week from today. Today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Tell me what day of the week it will be tomorrow. Remember, when we talk about tomorrow on the calendar, we go one back. We go one back. Tell me the day of the week it will be 1 week from today. When we talk about 1 week from today, we go one down. You got it? We go one down. Now the dates. Tell me today's date. Tell me the date it will be 1 week from today. I'm going to tell you about an object you know, but I'm going to call it a funny name. See if you can figure out what object I'm thinking about. A whoop is an animal. Say that. A whoop lives on a farm. Say that. A whoop lays eggs. Say that. One more time. A whoop is an animal. Say that. A whoop lives on a farm. Say that. A whoop lays eggs. Now, everybody say all 3 things you know about a whoop. A whoop is an animal. A whoop lives on a farm. A whoop lays eggs. Everybody tell me what kind of animal I am calling a whoop. You got it, a chicken. I couldn't fool you. It's really a chicken. And how do you know? So we're going to make up 2 analogies. We're going to make up the analogies about a purse and a bottle. Which containers? Right. So remember, the first thing we do when we make up analogies is we name a class. We do what? Right, we name a class. And what's the next thing we do when we create analogies? First we name a class, then we tell something that is true about that object. I'm sorry, we tell something that is only true about that object. So the first analogy tells what the containers are made of. What is a purse made of? Right, it could be cloth, but we're going to use leather. So a purse is made of leather. What is a bottle made of? Right, a A bottle could be made of glass or plastic, but today we're going to use glass. Listen, a purse is to leather as a bottle is to glass. Say the analogy about a purse and a bottle. Listen, a purse is to leather as a bottle is to glass. Does that analogy tell you what you put in these containers? No, right. Listen, a purse is to leather as a bottle is to glass. Does that analogy tell you where you find the containers? Listen, a purse is to leather as a bottle is to glass. Does that analogy tell you what the containers are made of? Yes. We made up an analogy that tells what the containers are made of. The next analogy is going to tell you what you put in the containers. What do you put in a purse? Think about it. What do you put in a purse? Right, we can put cell phones, we can put lip gloss, but we mostly put money in a purse. So we're gonna use money. What do you, a purse is to money as a bottle is to, what do we put in a bottle? What do you put in a bottle? Well, in my bottle, I like milk, sometimes orange juice, but most times Miss Thomas drinks water. So we're gonna use water. So a purse is to money as a bottle is to water. We made up an analogy that tells what the containers are made of. Then we made up an analogy that tells you what you put in the containers. Let's see if you can say both of those analogies. Think your brain's on. Think. Say the analogy that tells what the containers are made of. A purse is to leather as a bottle is to glass. Good job. Think big. Say the analogy that tells what you put in the containers. Good job. A purse is to money as a bottle is to water. We're gonna keep going forward. Materials. Listen, a man wants to make a fence. Are some fences made of cloth? No. What's absurd about a fence that is made of cloth? What's absurd about a fence that is made of cloth? Right, it wouldn't be strong enough to hold the fence. It wouldn't be sturdy enough. So, everybody, are some fences made of glass? That would be what? That would be really absurd. What's absurd about a fence that is made of glass? Yes, it would break. Everybody, are some fences made of metal? Yes. Why can metal be used to make fences? Good job. Yes. Absurdity. Remember, if something is absurd, it is what? Very silly, very crazy. You'll listen to this story and tell me what's absurd about it. A boy put his fish on a leash. What did he do with his fish? Then he went for a walk with his fish. Where did he go with his fish? Now tell me some things that are absurd about that story. We're gonna do sentence construction, and you can do this on your own paper. We're gonna do some sentence construction, and you can do this on your own paper. So you should have a piece of paper out, and pencil. I'm gonna give you about 10 seconds, 15 seconds to get that together. Okay, so let's get started. So we're gonna write some sentences like we do every time we work in our workbooks. We're gonna write some sentences about the characters. Remember the characters at the top of the page. Let's say these together. We have Bleep, Sweetie, Clarabelle, Honey, a mouse, and the words jumped over. So, yes, touch the first box. Look at the first box. That says number 1. Who is that in that picture? Yes, that's Sweetie. And Sweetie is doing something. What is she doing? Or he. I think it's a he. Yes, Sweetie is jumping over a mouse. So say the sentence. Sweetie jumped over a mouse. So for number 1, you're going to write the sentence, Sweetie jumped over a mouse. Remember, our sentences start with a capital letter and end with punctuation, which is a period. We should be writing for number 1, Sweetie jumped over a mouse. Let's move on to picture number 2. Who are those 2 people in the picture? Right, yes, that is Sweetie and Honey. What is happening in the picture? Honey jumped over Sweetie. Good job. Yes, so for sentence number 2, you're going to write, Honey jumped over Sweetie. Okay, let's move on to picture number 3. Well, picture number 3 is not finished. Somebody is supposed to be jumping over Honey, but nobody is jumping over her in this picture. So you're going to write a sentence for picture number 3. You can write a sentence that uses any name we haven't used. Remember, your sentence uses any name we haven't used. Someone is jumping over Sweetie. So Ms. Thomas is going to check and make sure our sentences are correct, that we have capital letters at the beginning of our sentence and we have punctuation at the end. And that concludes today's lesson. See you guys tomorrow.